Hey guys. Woo, sorry about that. Hey guys. Welcome to Chat with KST. I am not feeling well today, guys. I'm not. My nose is stuffed up. My throat is hoarse. But again, we're going to continue the show. All right. I feel like when I put my mind to something and I say, hey, I really wanted to do it, I just try to move forward and not let any obstacles kind of get in the way of that. So here we are. I think this is like our fourth show this week, fifth show in total. Um, or maybe it is our fifth show this week. But anyway, um, regardless of that, we are moving forward and we have been consistent. So I want to say, kudos to us. I want to welcome you guys to Chat with KST. We are an entertainment podcast where we just sit back, chit chat about the celebrities and what they have going on in the media and things of that sort, right? Just to kind of have a better understanding as to what's going on around us. But I am introducing a new segment in the show where we just, have a quote of the day. We start off the show with a quote of the day just so that we can have this throughout the day as we're working, as we're on the train, as we're driving home, as we're doing anything, whatever it is that you're doing, you can reflect on it. So I got this one from Google, and it says the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. All right, so my question to you guys are you dreaming big? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in your dreams? Do you have any dreams? All right. Because I feel like sometimes what happens is when we don't believe in ourselves and we don't dream big and we don't have higher expectations of ourselves, we tend to get mad at the world around us because we've settled, or we tend to I feel like we tend to not be as fulfilled in the lives that we've chosen, right? So we would accept that, hey, we've become complacent, but we probably know deep down that we aren't living to our fullest potential. So that quote was just to remind you guys to, hey, dream big. Remember those childhood dreams that you guys had. Remember, all the things you said you wanted to be, and move forward with that. All right. So anyway, let's jump into these celebs. All right. Um so first up we have Summer Walker. And Summer Walker was kind of doing something, was kind of mimicking Krishan. Summer Walker has this thing about her where um sometimes she's just like a villain. Like that's the word that she had used a couple months ago, that she was going into her villain era. I think it was her, if my memory serves me correct. But I feel like Summer Walker is somebody who, I don't know how to say this nicely. Like she's somebody who, okay, she's a mean girl. I feel like she has her time where she's very soft, very nice, she seems well spoken, but then she has those moments where she can be a mean girl. I was like trying to think of like maybe like very comedic, but I feel like she's never comedic outside of shading one of her coworkers. She's never comedic. Like she'll never get on Instagram or TikTok and just be like, I'm being funny. It's like 90% of the time it's her shading a coworker. So that's why I feel like she's a mean girl. But let's just watch what she did.
Fuck little baby in his restaurant. Nigga, I'm talking about a kid. You talking about me eating at somebody's fucking restaurant. Get out. We talking about a little baby in his restaurant. Fuck little baby in his restaurant. Nigga, I'm talking about a kid. You talking about me eating at somebody's fucking restaurant. Get out. We talking about a little baby.
So you guys, real quick, for those of you who are listening to the audio podcast, you can always find the visuals on YouTube at Chat with KST as well. So what we're looking at currently, just to paint the picture for those of you um who are listening without the visuals, Summer Walker is walking around with the fake baby. Remember that clip that went viral with Krishan, and the baby, Krishan was in Walmart, the baby's neck was hanging over, a mess, a mess, a mess. So what Summer Walker is now doing is she's reenacting that, right? And as
I'm trying to talk it out. We talking about a little baby in his restaurant. Fuck little baby in his restaurant. I'm trying to talk it out.
so I wanted to see what that clip was about. But basically what she's doing in both instances is she's mimicking Krishan at her worst points in life, right? Where she wasn't perhaps maybe the best mom because that baby's neck was really hanging down, and when she was on live just going off on Blueface, so she was just like, what Summer Walker was doing was reenacting these moments and like kind of making fun of Krishan in a way. And, she's going to later say that, hey, she didn't mean anything bad by it. But it's like, you got to understand when you make fun of someone's weak points, dark points, it's like you can't be mad at somebody for how they take what you've done or what you've created about their life. That's why sometimes even myself, I find myself treading lightly. Like sometimes I'd be like, all right, I'm calling out the bullshit, this is BS. But then on the other hand, sometimes I have to be like, yo, tread lightly with this topic because it's sensitive, it's somebody's life. So I just feel like and I just feel like Summer Walker can be a mean girl, and I feel like this is one of the instances where she is being a mean girl, because this was something that was pointless. It's something that didn't have to be done. But anyway, let's move on. All right. So, according to the neighborhood talk, the husband of Cardi B's nail tech was charged after being caught on camera starting fire that burnt her Bronx salon down. What in the scamming fuck is going on? Excuse me? Why are you guys scamming? And you know what? This thing isn't like scamming for like insurance money, for whatever it is that they're scamming for. It it's sometimes so easy for people to do these things. Like for me, um I I'm familiar with like car accidents and the legal processes behind like the crashes and what happens when someone is injured and how people like sue the insurance companies for injuries and stuff like that. And it'd be the same thing with commercial property. Like something happens in the building or even your personal home, like something happens or whatever, and it damages the property, you can get a sweet check for that. You can get a sweet check for that, right? You can get a replace everything that was destroyed and probably put a down payment on another house. You know what I mean? Like you can get money basically. So these instances where people are scamming isn't something that is new. However, it is something that you don't want to get caught doing. It's like, excuse, like, how do you, like, don't get me wrong. I know how you get caught, right? Because these insurance companies, what tends to happen is when they do the investigation into the claim, they tend to want to make sure that whatever you're saying is authentic, right? So they may even set out an investigator to try to process what happened at the scene and stuff like that. So if the investigator finds things suspicious, they may dig deeper into what you're saying, and you may not even be aware that the investigator is digging into you, asking your neighbors for perhaps like video footage from like the front of their house, asking this person for something, calling this person behind your back just to do investigation to make sure that the claims that you are saying are the truth. And sometimes people do get caught. And in the instance of this case, this man got caught red freaking handed. All right. So let me read this snippet that I found on the Neighborhood Talk. It says, Tremont, located in the Bronx. I was currently moving into this new location when I received a call the morning of September the 28th from my store neighbors saying my nail salon has just burned down. Hold on, I lost my place. Okay. I just had landed from Canada because I had to fly out because my brother was sick, was very sick, and I had to rush to my business and seeing it all go down, all and seeing it all gone. I've been remodeling and fixing this location to celebrate my grand opening on October the 27th. And because of this tragedy, I lost it all. I couldn't even file for insurance because I wasn't open for business yet. So sadly, all my hard work and investment on all my beauty products got all burned down. No insurance, no recovery on anything. I am so heartbroken and sad. Everything I worked hard for, all taken away. I am asking for help to rebuild my dream salon and get my business and family to have faith again. Thank you everyone. Any little counts. So my thing is, did this man think that by burning down his salon, he was going to get a check just to find out he didn't get that check? So he decided to come um on the internet. I don't know. I want to understand it. Let me see what the neighborhood talk had to say, just so I can get some more details on this, because I want to know which way to drag this man this morning. All right, neighbors. We previously reported that Cardi B's nail salon had been burnt to a crisp, and it looks like her husband is the one who set it ablaze. According to ABC News, fire investigation investigators recovered a DVR at the scene, which revealed, I'm not even going to try to say his name, but revealed that this man um igniting two separate napkins and throwing the napkins in a pile of boxes and stock in the center of the store. Fire investigators sought out the footage after learning the fire originated in the store. He was arrested and charged with arson, criminal mischief, and reckless endangerment. Jenny, which is his wife, who runs the Sienna Creations nails and spa salon, says she's been feeling pretty blah amid the incident. She even created a GoFundMe to raise funds for shop salons repair. I feel even more confused. Reason being, it's like, dude, what was the reason for burning your salon? What was the aim? What was the motive, right? Because I feel like nothing when someone does this, there has to be a motive, right? Was the motive to get insurance money? Was the motive to gain capital from the fans? What was the motive? And if it wasn't the, like I mentioned earlier, the insurance company who investigated this incident, which in this case it wasn't, it was the fire investigators, right? Did you not think they were going to look into it? So now you've been arrested for arson and a whole other bunch of things because of greed, money. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like, isn't this the same woman that Cardi B called like bigged up a couple years ago, say like she's the best nail tech or something like that, the one in the Bronx? So it's like, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. But we'll see if there's anything more on this story, then we'll definitely speak on that. All right. So, I don't know if you guys follow this page on IG, but I do. My best friend actually introduced me to them. They're called Your Faves Before IG. And according to them, Little Meech is back to following Summer Walker. Nicki Minaj and Funny Marco found themselves on a live together. Let's see how that live went.
I was saying like we sit down, we had an interview.
Okay, when can you? Where are you right now? Let's do it.
Um, we I mean we here.
Where you at?
I'm I'm anywhere.
Where are you? Boy, you can't come on here to play.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry, that was my grandma. She just called from prison. What happened though?
Where are you? So if you because so we can do the interview.
I'll just come wherever you at.
All right, I'm in Cali. Fly out.
Okay.
When
All
can
right.
you come?
So where we at? We there
Huh?
Friday? Are we there Friday?
Could be.
Is there? I was saying like we sit down, we had an interview.
Okay. When can you? Where are you right now? You got the money?
I mean, how much do you want?
1.5.
Huh?
1.5
She talking to me? Like as 1.5 what?
mil. Yeah. You got it or not?
I'm saying like we can work something out.
Okay.
Mhm.
I believe in you now. Come on
Contracts,
down. Huh?
contracts.
Man, I need for that, brother. You cross me.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah. Huh?
What happened?
I ain't say nothing. What up? What happened?
What's up? Yeah, I'm down to do a contract.
Okay. You got the
Mhm.
money.
I mean, how much do you want?
3 announcements right now. If you can do that, then I will grant you.
All right. So, real quick, she went live with Case and Nat as well. Kaisenat. I can never say this man's name correctly. Jesus, forgive me. But let's discuss the funny Marco. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna always keep it real with you guys. Um, as it relates to this. Yes, I do like have my faves. Nicki Minaj is of course one of my faves, but I'm also gonna always try to maintain a level of authenticity in what I do. And I don't feel like Nicki Minaj needs to be sitting down with Funny Marco. The reason why I don't feel like Nicki Minaj should sit down with Funny Marco, I feel like one of two things can happen in that um situation, right? One being that Nikki gets offended by something that Funny Marco does and reacts like funny. It's like, okay, um, it's like Funny Marco goes to the ground and Nikki goes straight to hell. You know what I mean? Where not saying that Nikki can't handle jokes. It's just like, it's just that when Nikki decides to joke, it ain't no joke, okay? It ain't gonna be funny, okay? Because your feelings is gonna get hurt. So I feel like I don't want to see a situation where, we get excited about this interview, but Funny Marco and Nikki aren't able to vibe well. So Funny Marco makes a joke, Nikki takes it personal. Now she's freaking flipping on Funny Marco, like flipping out on him or joking a little, like really crazy with Funny Marco. So I feel like that is one incident that can happen. And the second incident that can happen is maybe Funny Marco even like watered down himself to like kind of appease, Nikki and not like go as hard as he normally does, because y'all see how Funny Marco gives it up. Like I like me personally, I would never go over there by no Funny Marco, because if I go over there, I'm gonna cuss him out. I'm going to curse you out. Like, my dude, like what? Like, I get it, it's supposed to be satire and jokes and stuff like that, but you should also know who you are as a person. And once you know thyself, you know what rooms to put yourself in and what rooms to stay the hell out of. And I feel like for Nikki, yes, it would be a wonderful moment to go down in history and have, the queen of rap sit down on this amazing show and kind of just give it up. And I can see in an instant where Nikki just goes, sit down, give it up, have fun, and don't really to pay Funny Marco no mind. um that's the instance that I'm praying for. Like, that's what I would love if they sit down and do it, where Nikki can control her emotions and say, hey, it really just is a show, and his jokes, I'm not going to take it personal. And this isn't a dig to Nikki, this is just a dig to the show. And I just feel like sometimes you got to realize that if you're thin skin, certain things not gonna work out. So, and I do feel like Nikki can be thick skinned, and I feel like she has to be thick skinned to have made it thus far in the entertainment industry. However, I wouldn't have sat down with him. Okay, but let's see what she and Case not s- conversation was about.
I don't I don't I don't want to say it
Why?
because like I feel like why should you have to reiterate yourself? You know what I'm saying?
already been said and done, you know. And you don't even know I'm about to go to jail.
What?
You got my bail? You gonna bail me out or not?
Why are you going to jail?
7 days is crazy.
For
Be
what?
real. Because
The
I have
riot?
to. No, not because of that. Hell no, hell no, hell no, hell no, not because of that. But it's 7 days. I'm in that month. Like I just need somebody to bail me out. You gonna bail me out?
What you trying to get money? You trying to tell me to send?
No, I'm just saying, would you bail me out if I was in jail? Like I'll bail you out.
Yes, I would.
You know, between it to the book.
3 announcements right now. If you can do that, then I will.
No, you see, Kai Sinat and Nikki, that is a more easier vibe. Like, I feel like if Nikki is trying to be like really diverse, I feel like Nikki could throw on some sweatpants, throw on a crop top sweater, take her behind over to Kai Sinat's studio and stream with him for like about 30 minutes to an hour, sit down. And I feel like that would be a moment. I feel like knowing who Nicki Minaj is, I feel like she would be able to flow well with on a Kai Cenat stream, even if she like brings maybe like one or two of her friends. Remember like how Krishan Rock and Blueface had done it and a couple other celebrities. I feel like that fits Nicki's vibe. Um I can see her doing that. But you know, we'll see what happens. In regards to the Funny Marco interview. All right. So,
Man, what is we doing here?
all right. So, real quick, um, for those of you who are familiar with Little Baby, you guys may also be familiar with his child's mother, Jayda, and she's a beautiful girl. When I say she's a beautiful girl, I mean like beautiful. Like I am like I wouldn't like I would okay, you know what? Girl crush, okay? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And when I say girl crush, I am totally joking. I'm But anyway, off of that, Jada, when I say she's phenomenal, she is, right? I love her. I love her energy. Jada also has a what would you call it? A beauty mark, I think it's called. You know, like on this on your skin, like some people will have like a beauty mark, whether it's like somewhere on their face, whether it's like on the left side of the lip, the upper lip, or on the right side of the upper lip. They may have it under the right or left eye. It could be something that they have on their cheek. You know, like the beauty mark can show up literally anywhere on the body, but when it shows up on the face, of course, you know, people see it, and you know, it becomes a part of who you are. So we all know Jada Waiter to have that beauty mark on her lip, right? In the corner of her bottom lip. Now, what I'm currently looking at to paint the picture for those of you who are listening to this without the visual, I'm looking at a woman who seems to have gotten the Jada Waiter beauty mark tattooed on her lip. Again, I'm hoping that's not what I'm looking at, but I feel like that's what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna play this and then we're going to examine this a little bit more.
I'm going to be Jada Wera. Oh my god, don't embarrass me, bro. Man, what is we doing here? I'm going to be Jada Wera. Oh my god, don't embarrass me, bro.
Oh my god, I can't believe this lady tattooed a beauty mark on her lip. So, Helena says The obsession people have with these celebrities is scary. I get it. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, I've been having this epiphany since I've been doing the celebrity podcasting thing for a couple months now, but I haven't like deep dived into the celebrities' history, their past, how they grew up, what were the rumors back in the days in the early 2000s, like kind of examine their lives, right? And I found myself doing that a lot more. And then I realized that I made a big mistake idolizing these celebrities when I was younger. And I can only imagine that that's what's going on with the younger generation today with these new celebrities. Because why the fuck would you get a beauty mark tattooed on your lip? But then again, the beauty standard has been so ridiculous lately, where people get eyebrows tatted, people have been getting things tatted on their face by makeup artists for whatever reason. They're doing it just to look beautiful. So is it far-fetched to see that someone decided to get a Jada Wade beauty mark tatted on her lip? For me, I'm outraged. But when you look at what's going on in society and how women are, not even women, how people are doing all these things to meet a particular beauty standard, it's like, well, you know what? Maybe it's not so far fetched, right? Now, I'm going to look into this story. So, according to the Shade Room, Los Angeles County medical examiners reveal the cause of model Nicole Coates' death. So, Miss Nicole, I guess, was one of the two models found dead in their downtown LA apartments just 2 days apart. Okay, so they lived less than a mile away from each other. So let me read what the Shade Room had to say. Okay, so roommates, there has been an update in the case involving the death of one of the two models found dead inside their Los Angeles apartments within 2 days from each other. According to E News, authorities previously classified 32-year-old Nicole Coates' death as suspicious and said they were investigating all avenues. If you recall, Nicole was found dead inside her home by her father and aunt. I couldn't recognize her. Her aunt May Stevens shared at the time. I believe it was a murder. I really do. One of her legs were up in the air in a kicking position. That's not somebody who just laid in their bed and died. The Los Angeles County medical examiner officially ruled the cause of death as cocaine. Okay, hold on. Now they're telling me to click the link in their bio. Hold on, because now I want to know cocaine and what? Hmm. I mean, that's crazy. Um, Absolutely crazy. All right, I am not finding this full story. So, oh, hold on, wait, right here. I think I'm gonna find it. Okay, cocaine and ethanol toxicity. report the report also lists the cause of the status as open. For context, a 32-year-old's body was recovered in the apartment on September the 10th amid an alleged bloody scene. E! News reports that Colt's father and aunt, May Stevens, found Nicole after being unable to reach her for a few days. Oops, my computer is all over the place. So, this was a drug overdose, is what you're telling me? Okay. So, this whole thing was a drug overdose, and it's crazy because it it garnered so much attention to the point that people started to feel as though it was someone else who may have done this. So at least the truth came to light so we can put to rest those feelings that maybe it was something that was suspicious about her death and it was just pure callousness on her part, right? I feel like anyone who chooses to do drugs to that point of death, um, I don't know. I feel like they need to be more responsible, you know? And some may disagree and say, hey, you know what? Um, a drug addiction and alcohol addiction and stuff like that is not something to play with and it's something serious and we need to sympathize with people who are drug addicts, but I also feel as though we have to be responsible. I'm trying to read the comments to even see what's hold on, give me 1 sec. All right, so basically I see someone here called No Grandma app. She said cocaine, leg in the air, family didn't recognize her. I call cap. So here we have someone maybe not believing the story, how the picture is being painted. And I mean, we don't know, right? That's why we invest so much into the system to hope that the system can give us justice and provide us with honest answers when as it relates to these things. So all we can do is rest upon the answer that they've given us in regards to this incident. But at least we're able to put some of that stuff to rest. But moving on now, Cameron and Maze sat down and they reacted to Dwight Howard's homosexual relationship being revealed to the public. Now, remember yesterday we discussed this and we discussed that he is now out of the closet basically and is officially, coming out as bisexual or gay. And how it's really none of my business. Well, Maze has something contradictory to say, and let's listen to what Maze has to say.
Dwight. Now, this is where I'm going to start. Before I talk about Dwight, before we talk about
your disclaimers, please.
Where
is he going?
I don't know what kind of disclaimer this was. This disclaimers is crazy. Be careful.
Yo, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. We got to stop telling people, I don't care what you do on your own time. Because we do care. Cam is lying if he tell you, I don't care what you do on your own time. And then Stat follows up. And women, you got to stop. For real, put the camera on me. For real. We got to stop telling niggas what you do in your own personal time has nothing to do with me. It does, my nigga. If you call, come on, man. Yeah, it does matter. It does matter. Those are the lies that are going on in society. We tell people it don't matter, but behind your back, it matters. And that's what we got to first start off by saying. Like, you hear Stats saying this, because what people do in their bedroom, that's between them. Not necessarily true, but I understand. You get what I'm saying? Because you telling them it don't matter, but then it does matter. And anybody watching this knows it does matter. Even to people that participate, it matters. Because people will say, oh, it don't matter. And as soon as they find out, they're outing them, so it matters. Yeah. And when it comes down to making money off the story, it matters. When it comes down to who dating you is going to matter. When it comes down to it, look at Cam. Put his camera on Cam. When it comes down to if you're going to be in the locker room with them, it matters. Because there's about 30 teams that did not sign Dwight Howard because it matters. So let's dispel that. That's the first thing we got to dispel. The second thing is that is consensual. It's never consensual if you surprise somebody. How can you say it's consensual? It's a surprise. Yeah, this is, and I don't be meaning to laugh. Sometimes I make myself laugh, but it's not funny. But it is funny. Stupid, man. Yo, he said it's consensual. So just think, you're somewhere, you're with somebody, and somebody walk out of the side door with a leprechaun outfit on. It's not longer consensual.
Yo.
It's not consensual.
It's not consensual.
Y'all want me to keep going? Because this makes sense. It makes sense, but people be lying, and folks can't get help if y'all lie. So that's not consensual. Consensual is agreeing beforehand on what's going to happen. If it's not agreed to beforehand, it's not consensual. Young guys need to know this. Young ladies need to know this. It's not consensual if it's not agreed to beforehand. To put somebody on the spot and say, oh, it's consensual. No, it doesn't. Consensual doesn't work like that. Like growing up, I met a girl at the club. I tell her, listen, I only do the first night. If we got to wait, I can't do it because I don't got time like that. Tomorrow ain't promise. I've changed since then a little bit, but that's where I am.
Bring that nigga back outside. Yo, bring that nigga back. I miss that nigga.
Tomorrow is not promise.
I miss that nigga,
it's
man.
Tonight only. It's tonight only.
Yo, bring him back out. Yeah. That nigga was for me in the whole house. I like that.
Yeah, Cam would say, what you told her? I told her it's tonight only.
Yo, man.
If it can't happen tonight, it never happened.
Oh, shit.
She said, well, tomorrow is going to be better for me. I said, I won't need it tomorrow. I need it tonight.
Oh, shit.
But
he's not lying, yo. He's definitely not lying.
Yeah, we need it.
He's definitely not lying. So 100%.
He said, well, my friend's going to be in town. I'm going to have a babysitter tomorrow. Forget the kids. Tonight or no night. Tonight is the only night that matters.
What I will say is this. They better hope Kitty don't come out the closet, out the litter box soon. Because if Kitty come out that litter box, shit could get real ugly, man. I would love to hear Kitty's point of view on this.
Would you have Kitty on the show?
Sure, why not?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Who's Kitty?
Kitty, if you're watching this, we need you on the show for a nice little exclusive interview.
We need the first interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So this is basically a clip from their show, and I get the concept that, hey, if we're all like, hey, you know, the white sexuality doesn't matter to us, then first and foremost, why is he being outed? And secondly, why is it being discussed? Right? Thirdly, why didn't some of the teams select him? You know, he's just going down a laundry list of things that says, hey, it really does matter, especially when you show up in the locker room. People need to know your sexuality. And I feel like that's the biggest part of this whole like being on the DL thing, where I feel like when you start to speak about the things that bother you about the whole DL situation, then you suddenly become homophobic, right? And because you suddenly become homophobic and you are canceled, and people don't really care for you anymore because you've gone against the LGBTQIA community, it then gets people in line to not say negative things about the LGBTQIA or someone who's a part of the community, because of that fear that, hey, I may or may not lose it. I may lose everything, right? And you may seriously have some genuine concerns. Like, he does play a male sport, right? And he is constantly around men. So a concern could be like, hey, like, being that you're into men, right? I'm walking around boxers and all thinking around my homies, but you're actually looking at me in a sexualized situation. That could put me in an uncomfortable situation. And then now we're treading the lines of perhaps sexual harassment, which is what he's being accused of. You know? Whereas if you were open and honest about who you were, then nothing has to change. But I might put on a sweater, a hoodie, and a sweatpants when I'm around you, because it's the same for a female, right? Female, she's around her girls. If she's around her girls, she do whatever. Probably like, okay, well, they'll get undressed and, you know, get dressed again, whether they're changing clothes or whatever the case may be. I'll be more comfortable to have that moment with one of my girl besties that I've been chilling with for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, rather than someone who's interested in me sexually. If I'm around a man, I may not just take off my clothes and change in front of him. So once you tell me that there is some sexual interest there, or not even a sexual interest, but that you are once you tell me what your status is in terms of how you about like how you date, then I know how to show up in these situations. And the reason why it's important in Dwight Howard's situation is that he's not at a corporate 9 to 5 job where it's not common for them to not get undressed in front of each other. No, he's in the sweaty of sweaty sports where they're touching, they're getting undressed, they're camping out. Like it's a lot of intimate, it's a more intimate sport. So it's like these details, I can understand why one says it does matter to like make sure that, you know, you let people know what's going on with you. Um but I can also understand why people have refrained from speaking out again, like speaking out against the things that they feel, the problems that they feel like they come up against in situations like this where they're dealing with a gay person, right? Because there's also the aspect of the reputation, right? if if I'm cool with you when you are gay, like people might even try to associate it with me, and that's something that I have to tread lightly with because my reputation is somehow tied into my finances, and if my reputation get a hit, so does my finances. So I feel like there are so many intricate parts of this puzzle, so I can understand why Maze says that it does matter. But for me, how I feel when I say it doesn't matter, um I just speak on the part of what happens, the details or the specifics of your bedroom, right? Now, if you bring up an important point and said, hey, this may be something that we should discuss, that hey, you know, we need you to disclose. And I feel like that's something that, you know, the NBA can, and then and then again too, the NBA probably can't even do what I'm thinking about, because then they open themselves up to lawsuit because that's discrimination and all this other stuff. So it's like, again, like it's like you try to move forward and you hit another blocked wall. But hey, Dwight Howard don't seem to be too pressed about this whole situation. He even came out with a clip of like him, like just him making fun of the whole situation and people like being in an outrage that he's now coming out. But we'll watch that clip later on.
Fuck it out. We talking about a little baby.
All right. So, you guys remember earlier when I said that Summer Walker is a mean girl because these are the things that she does to her coworkers, where she will like make fun of them, right? So, sorry about that. So, um after making the video about Krishan and like, you know, like reenacting it and stuff like that, what she then posted was, please do not take my humor too seriously. My favorite comedians are Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, and Cat Williams. They say shit and don't give a fuck. I know this generation doesn't understand how to actually just laugh and move on. But yeah. So like I get it, Summer Walker, where sorry, I wanted to just fix this thing. I get it, Summer Walker, where you feel like, hey, you just want to have fun and joke around and you know, like live, be in the moment and just have fun. I understand that aspect of it. I feel like back in the day, which is what I feel like you're like kind of correlating this to, when comedians made fun of people and stuff like that, there was this, you know, this carefree attitude where people really didn't take it too personal. Whereas in today's society, we are, I can agree with you, a little bit more sensitive. And I think that sensitivity comes from having more information, understanding that when you're joking about me, there's always an undertone to it, whether it's an undertone to it that it's the truth, that you're being shady, whatever. I feel like we've garnered enough knowledge now as human beings to understand that, yeah, jokes aren't really just jokes, right? there is some truth to either what you're saying, what you're doing, or you're just being an asshole, right? And this is, and and you're just projecting your whatever it is that you have going on out into the world. Now, that's not to say that that's what all comedians do. I feel like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, um, they are amazing comedians. Look at Kevin Hart, for instance. And she didn't include Kevin Hart on her list, but I'm going to speak about Kevin Hart because Kevin Hart is one of my favorite comedians. I feel like a genuine comedian is when you can sit up there and joke about yourself. Joke about yourself. Sit there and tell jokes for an hour and a half to 2 hours about your life. And that's what Kevin Hart sat up there and did. Kevin Hart talked about his, what was it, his sixth or second grade teacher, whoever, Miss Green. He sat up there, was talking about his experiences with his dad. He was sitting up there talking about his own experience when he cheated, and he made fun of him. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you can't always say it's for fun and jokes when every time you're taking a dig at someone. You know what I mean? So people pay attention to that. So I'm not saying that, hey, like Summer Walker is totally wrong, that hey, we have become diluted as a society and we can take offense to certain things pretty quickly. I understand that portion of it. But if you say that, hey, you are just trying to be a comedian like your favorites, then I feel like there is an aspect to the way that they do things too that you can develop, and it can't just be being a mean girl, get on the internet reenacting somebody, right? I think there's an art to it. There's an art to what Dave Chappelle is doing. There's an art to it, right? But anyway, let's move on away from Miss Summer Walker. All right. So, this is for those of you who are listening to the audio podcast. Unfortunately, you can't see it, but of course, I'm going to describe it to you. So this is a clip of a young lady getting her head shaved off, right? And I want to show you guys what she does immediately after having her natural hair shaved off. Let's take a look. You know what? Let me turn off the music just so that I don't have it get hit for any copyrights and stuff like that. Do you see what's on her head right now? A wig. A wig. This woman, um, and just for the heads up, guys, I got this from the Jamaican Pink Wall whatever group. I am Jamaican and I be keeping up with the Jamaican celebrities and gossip as well. But off of that, like, why shave your head and immediately after shaving your head put on a frontal? Why not braid your hair? Huh? Mm-mm. So this is a Nicki Minaj appreciation post. Nicki is looking beautiful in her shorts and her top, just doing her thing, looking beautiful, preparing for her album to drop, you know. I'm loving the jacket. It's given. Nicki has her Barbie chain on. When doesn't she? And face card does not decline. She has her bracelet, her anklet, her chain. Like Nikki is she's just given. She is given. Okay. Now,
I don't give a fuck what you got, what you going through, right?
all right. So I got this clip from Mob's World, right? And shout out to Millie. I love me some Mob Radio. Um, Tasha K, what's going on? What's going on? So everybody know the infamous Tasha K. She is a entertainment blogger where she talks about celebrities and stuff like that. She's known for the infamous case between her and Cardi B, with her accusing Cardi B and saying that Cardi B had herpes, and it turns out that Cardi B didn't have herpes. So Cardi B sues her for defamation. After suing her for defamation, wins the lawsuit, and Tasha K now owes Cardi B $4 million that she doesn't have. So now they're in bankruptcy court to get Tasha K to pay Cardi B. Now, Tasha K and Cardi B have been arguing on the internet for years, where Tasha K has felt like, hey, she's not going to cow down to Cardi B and she's going to always be vocal about her feelings towards Cardi B. So you can imagine my surprise when I see that Millie posted this video.
I said this to her. I said, just in case you want to see, this is it. I said, she wrote, I wish I was dead. I just want to put a bullet in my head. Should I kill myself? This is a few days after her birthday. I remember what it was like to have that feeling come over me for my 40th birthday, realizing that everything that I worked for was probably a failure. And that's not why I started this platform. That's not me. My ego will get in the way and be like, that's just all of us being the pettiness. But no. I said, hey, Cardi, if you put a bullet in your head, who is gonna teach me to be a better person? I said, please stop posting stuff like this. I'm gonna pay you. I said, FYI, I just can't afford the $4 million. I know the brand looks like I have $4 million. We do a very good job at that. But we're preparing for when we get the millions. And I'm glad that, a bankruptcy court is scrutinizing every single thing. Because I'm like, you know what? People don't need a finance lawyer. They need a bankruptcy lawyer, because a bankruptcy lawyer takes something that's destroyed and they rebuild it. Like it's like taking a house and teaching you how to build a house from the ground up. That's what this bankruptcy has done for me, was literally saved me from what athletes go through, what people in the entertainment industry go through, especially when we're talented. And all I truly want to do is be talented. But God blessed me with a husband that went to school for business, that understands the production value side of it. And he's worked very hard with these white men who have been doing this 30, 40 years since this bankruptcy to understand how our business is supposed to be ran, how it's supposed to be structured, and how are we supposed to sustain our business in the event we get sued or we lose. Because there's two parts of it. You got to pay to litigate. And if you lose, you got to pay that too. And then right now we got a team of less than 10, but what if I got 100 employees that are dependent on me and we make a mistake? We still got to be able to run our business as Black people and creating Black generational wealth. When I tell you that I am so glad that this happened, I said, if you put a bullet in your head, Cardi, who the fuck is going to teach me to be a better person? I said, please stop posting stuff like this. I said, I'm gonna pay you. I just can't afford the $4 million. I don't have it. I know I look like I got it, but I don't have it. And your lawyers can dig and dig and dig and dig until they dig through the earth's crust. Please, we welcome that. But please know that is not on me. That's not on my expense. I don't pay for that. You do. And I don't know if they told you that. Okay? And I also said, too many kids love you to be reading stuff like this that you posting, saying that you want to put a bullet in your head and you wish you was dead and should you kill yourself. I said, but believe it or not, Bell Khalees, and I really had to put my ego aside to say this, because when people don't like you, they don't watch you. They don't watch you. I have to watch people. I have to watch people to teach us about people. I said, believe it or not, too many kids love you to be reading stuff like this, and believe it or not, I said, Cardi, I love you. That was the hardest thing for me to say to her. But it's true. I said, for leveling me up mentally and teaching me how to not misuse the gift that God gave me that people thank me for. I don't give a fuck what you got, what you going through, right? I said this to her. I said, just in case you want to see, this is it.
All right. Hopefully I didn't like cough through that whole thing and you guys were able to hear what she said. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, do you see that breezy dot universe face? That's exactly how I feel right now. What in the hell is going on? I understand what Tasha K is saying in terms of her growth. I understand that a tumultuous situation like the one that you and Cardi B are going through, have gone through, is still going through, and hopefully will not be going through in the near future. But I understand how that can prompt growth, development, lesson learned. You know, that's why they say you shouldn't regret anything, because you've also learned something from it. I understand that. And I feel like in this clip, it's a woman putting her ego to the side and seeing how she feels authentically about the situation, not saying that she isn't mad, because her ego has already expressed her aggression to us. But when removing the ego from the situation, she's expressing another set of emotions that she's also experienced throughout this process, which to me, it's fine. Tasha K can vent about how she feels to Cardi B, and you know, and like say, hey, this is what I texted her. Because you know what, as I'm thinking, if this was a situation where Tasha K was hold on a second. If this was a situation where Sasha K was calling out Cardi B and saying a whole bunch of negative things to Cardi B, guess what? We would have been here like, oh, Kiki, ha 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 ha. So this situation is definitely a shocker, and I did say it a couple months ago. When are these two going to be best friends? Because they're just literally one in the same. I know Cardi B responded to this. We're gonna discuss Cardi B response if I have it on the lineup for today. If not, I'll discuss it tomorrow. But all in all, I just feel surprised to understand that Tasha K has also experienced these emotions in regards to the situation that she's going through. Um and yeah, it's just very surprising to me. Like, it's just very surprising to me that, you know, she feels these are the emotions she has decided to feel from what she's been through, you know. But anyway, let's move on. So Azel E and her ex-husband has been like literally tearing down the internet for the past couple months, where they've just been going back and forth, went through the divorce, abuse, oh, just a lot, right? So it didn't come to a surprise when Devin Waller decided to post Angel E not looking her best and caption it, "I'm so glad my daughter has my face and not hers." I feel like this man needs to grow up, and I just feel like people who are like unnecessarily mean, like they hate themselves. Like you hate yourself. Why would you post this woman like this? And I get it. Even if you had guys got into a fight behind the scenes, why are you posting her? What is it with people posting their exes? What is it? But I'm not even gonna shed too much light on him. I just kind of wanted to call out his foolery. But according to the Shade Room, Krishan Rock says she wants 12 children, one down, one on the way, and 10 to go. So, first of all, Krishan, are we sure that you are pregnant? Because this caption says one on the way. That's my first question, just reading the caption. 2, who's the father? New Bay or Blueface? 3, can we like get our bag like all the way up to like millions before we have the rest of these children? Because I'm not gonna be against Krishan wanting to have a soccer team. She can have a soccer team if she want. I just feel as though I want her. I feel like when I see young celebrities and I see people who are even younger than me make it, and they have this capital, this unlimited potential to gain this capital, and I see them like fuck it up. It's like, my dude, like you were so close. So I do feel like I want to see Krishan like reach her fullest potential in terms of how much money she can get from this industry. I don't think fame would be Krishan's issue. I just think it's her money. Like, get your money up, baby. But let's see what she had to say about these 12 children that she's trying to have.
I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I always knew I wanted to have 12 kids. So one down, one on the way, and what's the last? 10 to go. So I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I always.
So that's what Krishan says. She has answered none of my questions in this video clip, but I'm pretty sure as she lives and her life progresses, we'll be able to confirm whether or not she is indeed pregnant. I don't understand why Krishan would go right back and get pregnant again. Why? But you know what? To each his own. We all make our own decisions, and I'm not gonna sit up here and
You better.
But anyway, so this was a clip from the City Girls being on live. No, was it is on being on live? I don't know if it's on TikTok. I think he really do be TikTok. I be seeing this girl on, but I don't know what they were live basically with Terry Joe, and I'm not the biggest Terry Joe fan. I'm not too familiar with her. I just know she be going viral and stuff with the celebrities. She went viral with Saucy Santana. And yeah, so she's on live with the City Girls, and I'm like, okay, let's look and see what she had to say to the City Girls.
I mean, you look pretty.
You think P said the same thing to you?
When? You better answer me. You look pretty.
You think P said the same thing to you?
When? You better answer me. You look pretty.
You think peace at
So I'm like listening to it to get the context, but I guess now Terry Joe, let me say, she is a trans, right? And I say that to explain this. I think Carisha said, I think you look better as a man. And his response was, you think P. Diddy said the same thing to you? Um but I could be wrong because I try to play it a couple times to understand what he said to Carisha, but that was one clip, and let's look at this other one.
I thought you been came out the closet.
when is easy. Gotta go.
Just beat the shit out of him for real.
So I don't know. We're talking about closets. When are they gonna do that?
Baby, he ain't never been in the closet.
Oh, okay. He been out.
No, he's out with me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where? Chili?
Okay. No, baby.
No. Okay.
Come on.
Oh, what you get from there when you go there?
Everything I want.
Like what? An appetizer too? I'm just wondering.
I thought you been came out the closet.
When is easy? Gotta go.
Okay, so I heard this one. I caught this shade. So the first shade with Carisha and Terry, I didn't really catch it, but what I can say is I realized that in these video clips, I hear the city girls saying things, and Terry Joe responded. So in this clip, city girl JT says, um are you like come out the closet, or you been came out the closet or something? And and again, he's a transgender, right? Terry's a transgender, so he's a man with the wig on. um so his response to JT was, hey, did little Uzi, your boyfriend, come out the closet? And JT was like, yeah, we out the closet together. Now I just feel like, ooh, ooh, okay. Mm-mm. Remember earlier, like I mentioned that there are certain rooms that once you know thyself, you don't walk into. Terry Joe is one of those people. Like I get it, like he's being totally genuine and just having fun. But look, he's shady. He is shady. And when I mean shady, I mean his clapback is phenomenal. And because I know I don't clap back like that, I would not be on Instagram live with him. But anyway, it was just a moment with the city girls and him that went viral. All right. So I saw this story on the Shade Room where it says a mother who spent 7 months searching for her missing son discovers that police killed and buried him without telling her. So it says TCR prayers up. A Mississippi woman wants answers after learning that her son was fatally ran over by a police officer and buried in a pauper's graveyard without telling her. She received the news months after she reported him missing. The 37-year-old the mother of 37-year-old Dexter Wade says that she last saw her son on March the 5th after he left her house with a friend. Betterston eventually reported him missing to the Jackson Police Department on March the 14th after days passed without hearing from him. Betterston says that an investigator photos of her son. So what she said was, Better says that an investigator took her statement and she sent him another investigator photos of her son, requesting that they put his picture on TV. She says that she kept in regular touch with the police asking for an update, but every time she called the police she was told that they had no information, which was ultimately untrue. Betterston eventually learned that Dexter was killed while walking across Interstate 55 when a Jackson police SUV driven by an off-duty officer struck him. The collision occurred an hour after Dexter left her house on March the 5th. Dexter was reportedly without identification when he died, but he did have a prescription pill bottle in his pocket. Hines County investigator was able to verify Dexter's identity and his next of kin before eventually forwarding the information to the Jackson Police Department on March the 9th. However, despite knowing Dexter's identity as well as his next of kin, Jackson police failed to contact Betterston. Sadly, this isn't Betterston's first incident with Jackson police. In 2009, her 60-year-old brother was killed after former Jackson officer Anthony Fox slammed him on the ground during an arrest. The officer was convicted of manslaughter, but is currently appealing. Betterston can't help but wonder if her son's death had anything to do with her brothers and the allegations she made against the police in that case. Maybe it was a vendetta. Maybe they buried her son to get back at me, she said. All right, so this has, like many of the stories that we've seen, many moving pieces to it. So, first and foremost, why on March 14th, when this mother went into your precinct to find out about her son, she wasn't notified that her son had been killed by one of your officers? Why was she sent on a wild goose chase? That's one. I feel like when dealing with situations like this, you deal with them very sensitively. You don't just brush someone off and pass them along as if their concerns don't matter. So that's number one. Um, Number two, are we investigating whether there is a tie between the police officer that's in jail and this police officer that killed her son? Have we done these investigations? Do we need an external investigator, an external police department to come and do it? Because what's going on? You know? But I feel like it's stories like this that um makes people question the police department and their dealings. All right, so um according to Neighborhood Talk, Nicki Minaj has become the first female rapper to have 2 solo songs to surpass 1 billion views on YouTube. So this is like literally just a congrats. Nicki has been in this game for so long and has been consistently dropping music, consistently been successful, and just congrats to her. And if you guys were wondering what the 2 songs were, I think it's Super Bass and Anaconda, because I know Anaconda was been up there, but I guess Super Bass is now up there as well. Let me just
Get slapped if you're looking ho. I said, excuse me, you're a hell of who wanna go first? I had him push and death the guy. I mean, my, like.
yes, those are the 2 songs. So shout out to Nicki. Like shout out to Nicki for doing her thing. Now, Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend arrested for assaulting the actor. According to the Shade Room, Grace Jabari has been arrested Wednesday evening for allegedly assaulting Jonathan Majors. She was charged with misdemeanor assault and a criminal mischief. Majors Majors filed a counter complaint against Jabari after he was arrested for allegedly assaulting her. His case claims she is the one who assaulted him. Although police went through with booking Jabari, the district attorney is reportedly refusing to persecute her. The Manhattan DA's office filed documents stating they do not intend on persecuting Jabari with regards to the accusation Majors made against her. So when it was Majors who y'all thought was wrong, he was going to be prosecuted to the full limit of this law. But now that y'all find out that it's this chick, then now it's like, oh yeah, just a cool winky dink. We don't need her anymore. This looks very bad. When a black man does something, he is thrown to the wolves. When a Caucasian woman does something, she is thrown in the garden. And this is what makes society unfair. Anyway, moving along. Remember, we talked about the thing that Summer Walker did and did as it relates to Krishan and like mimicking Krishan and like pretending to be Krishan and acting how she and acting like the baby's neck is falling like it did in Walmart. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with London Under Tracks baby mother Ebony, but Ebony don't like Summer Walker at all, not for nothing. So it wasn't a surprise to me when she hopped up and did this video making fun of Summer Walker. So just to kind of connect the dots for you, Summer Walker makes fun of Krishan. Krishan doesn't say anything, but Summer Walker's co-baby mother says something. So they both share the same baby father, London on the track. So her baby father's baby mother says something. Hopefully it connects the dots. And this is what she basically did. Let's watch. So basically, for those of you who are listening, she basically put two big ass basketballs in her drawers and making them to pretend as if they were some Summer Walker's ass cheeks. Do you guys remember Summer Walker's cheeks went viral the other day because the sides were looking like box on stage when her Saucy Santana and Sexy Red and what's her name? Why is her name escaping me? Sukiyana wanted to paint the town red and her booty cheeks went viral. So basically, Ebony's like, you want to play? Let's play. I'm going to mimic you now with your ass cheeks and your twins and how you are a mother of two. So basically, she's just mimicking, doing the same thing that Summer Walker did to Krishan back to her. I mean, look, I don't know.
She ain't my coochie, y'all. Yeah. Ooh, the body's nice. She ain't my coochie, y'all.
So, um, all in all, I feel like you get what you give. So, seeing Ebony come at her like that, um, I mean, look, that's the real Kiki. Anyway, let's move on. So, according to the Neighborhood Talk, critics deem Jada Pinkett Smith's memoir a flop after it fails to chart high on multiple bestseller lists. Now, my question is, why do you guys think her book flopped? I think Jada's book flops because Okay. Before I say what I was gonna say, I was sitting down and like I said earlier, I was looking at the celebrities um when they were like younger and how they grew up in the industry and when they first entered into the industry, the people they dated, the things that they did, and it has made me more empathetic to the celebrities and their experiences, understanding that they're real human beings and they're just living life just like we are, just different worlds, of course, but same life, right? So what I was about to say, Jada needs to I'm going to say it politely, needs to be quiet more, because if she's more quiet in public, when she does speak, it counts more, right? In terms of her putting out a book. It's like, okay, well, we haven't heard from her in a while, so let's listen and see what she has to say in her book. But when you've told us so many things about you, your marriage, and everything else, there's no more mystery to you. So buying this book, picking up this book would be for literally entertainment purposes only, just to learn more about your life and more of the dramatic things drama that's been going on between you and Will. And I think people have just that well has ran dry to me, where people have just decided that, hey, we're not going to hold on to the false marriage or whatever. um we just want to let all of it go. We don't want to learn anything else about it, and I feel like that's why her book did not sell as much. And it's like, Jada, like, I don't know, like, who is like advising her, like, because it's like 1 minute you're doing an interview, then you're doing an interview to cover up the interview that you did. She did an interview the other day where she said that they were separated for 7 years. People said, hey, so why did Will Smith get on stage and slap Chris Rock? Then she does another interview to say, hey, we were dating that night. We were separated for 7 years, but we were dating that night. So it's just like, spare us the details, Jada. And I personally feel like that's why the book did not sell as well. Now, I'm not saying that's it for Jada. I just feel like Jada needs to take her personal life out of the press, take it out of media, and push movies, get back into acting, get back into the things that you love. Show us, like, it's not that we're not interested in Jada Pinkett Smith overall, it's just that we're not interested in this story anymore. So I feel like Jada has to, like, just go into your creative bag for a little bit and decide which avenue you want to go down, and bravely walk down that avenue. But this avenue have as it relates to you and Will Smith's marriage, it's been exhausted and we're tired. All right. So everyone has been talking about this Jay-Z thing that has gone viral, where we say, hey, which would we rather, like, sit down for lunch with Jay-Z or get your 500K? Now, yesterday we discussed this and we have it become, was it yesterday or the day before? Maybe the day before. But excuse me, sorry about that. But we've just become well aware, based on what Jay-Z has said, that, hey, there are certain things that we as regular people, we're just not going to be keen on, just because of what Jay-Z said, that, hey, you know what, you're better off taking the money. So since Jay-Z has said that, celebrities has taken to this little trend of them expressing what they would do. Rick Ross said he would take the money because sorry, Rick Ross did not say he would take the money. Rick Ross said he will sit down at lunch with Jay-Z, because with one lunch dinner that he had with Jay-Z in the past, he was able to learn some vital information, and think about writing music that helped catapult what he was doing over there, right? Um my thing is, let's listen to what Ray J's reason is.
So they got a debate going on, 500,000 or me with Jay-Z. I'm going with the man with Jay-Z. Relationships are way more valuable than money. Now, if you need the bread, take the bread like Jay said, listen to the raps. But if you need good partners and you need people that can advance you to the next level, then in my situation, I'm going with Jay-Z. Me with Jay-Z.
Okay, so um my ears are scratch me. All right. So as it relates to Rick Ross's reason, I feel like Rick Ross's reason and Ray J's reasons, they both kind of fall hand in hand where they feel like, okay, um given that I've already have a certain level of capital, of meeting with Jay-Z would help me to surpass that and move far into the industry, whereas like Ray J said, if you're like a little regular person, regular degler like me, snatch the money and follow what Jay-Z had to say. um for me, I just feel like um everyone is entitled to their own opinion in terms of what they would do. I just feel like if this man tells me not to sit down with him, I am not going to sit down with him, celebrity or not. So let's say I become a millionaire, right? And they'd be like, I'm on a game show. They'd be like, hey, 5K or sit with Jay-Z. 500K. I'm taking the 500K. You've already told me you ain't giving me nothing in a lunch dinner, you know? And it's not about okay only gaining something from him, but it's like I feel like once you reach success, I feel like it's now it's now your job to teach people how to be more successful, you know? And if you refuse to do that, then what are we really going to talk about? The weather outside? No. All right. So anyway, moving along, moving along.
Yes, I have stole before. I used to steal going down.
All right, I know y'all heard that. That was Jada Wada. Now I talk about earlier how beautiful and nice Jada Wada is, but apparently Jada Wada has another side to her when she was younger. Let's listen to Jada Wada tell us all her secrets.
Dollar General and steal mascara. My mom used to be going in there every Sunday after church. We used to go in. So it was me and Des. I'll never forget it. I would never forget it. Stealing after church is crazy. Yes, I have stole before. I used to steal go in Dollar General and steal mascara. My mom used to be going in there every Sunday after church. We used to go in. So it was me and Des. I'll never forget it.
So she's clearly on TikTok. And I feel like TikTok is the app that literally makes you want to tell everyone everything about yourself. Um hold on one second. So just speaking of TikTok, I'm gonna just plug mine here. This is my TikTok. Are you gonna register? Okay, wait. Can you see the name? So that is my TikTok, K's Untold Stories. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. So let me just plug that there, put a nice little plug. Um, furthermore, I I'm not gonna like drag Jada for probably not anything ever, but I feel like we do all have a past. Like a lot of times we like to play perfect and be like, "Oh, I'm so perfect. I live my life and I ain't do nothing." Blah blah blah. But the truth of the matter is we're all imperfect beings and we've all done things. And I feel like sometimes just seeing somebody have the balls to do what she's doing, speaking out about her past. I feel like when we see those people on TikTok, I commend them for telling their stories and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a time in your past. You and Dusty Dior, I would never assume that you and Dusty Dior do things like that or have done things like that because of the way you guys carry yourselves, and hopefully you learn from it. All right. So remember, I told you guys Dwight Howard did clap back at everyone for what they were saying about him. He responded to the critics, and this is how he responded. And so Dwight Howard says how they want you to respond to the haters online as he types on his keyboard very fastly, making calls, seeming very panicked, and basically just saying, "This is how y'all want me to be, but that's not how I'm gonna be. Okay, I'm cool." Like I feel like this is given. I'm cool. I know who I am, and that's that. You know. So yeah. So, according to the Shade Room, at least 16 people dead and a dozen injured in multiple shootings that took place in Lewistown, Maine. Suspect at large. Let me see. According to CNN, at least 16 people have been killed at 50 have been killed and 50 to 60 others are injured after reports of multiple shootings in Lewistown, Maine on Wednesday. The suspect is currently at large. Maine Governor Janet Mills shared a statement to social media encouraging people in the area to follow the direction of the state and local enforcement as this story is developing. So my condolences to everyone who've lost their family and their friends and loved ones. If you guys do live in Lewistown, Maine, just make sure that you are following those guidelines so that you can stay safe and we won't be reading about you next week. So do what you can to stay safe. I just wanted to bring that story to you guys' attention. So according to It's On Site, a podcaster shares the time she was receiving oral pleasure. Okay, so this is going to get a little bit rated R. So just want to give you guys that heads up before we jump into it. All right, so podcaster shares the time she was receiving oral pleasure, and right as she reached her peak climax, a little nugget of shit flew out of her dookie. Excuse me, what? Sometimes I don't wonder, do people sit down and make these freaking stories up? Like, what? Let's listen.
One time I was getting some oral attention from a gentleman, and it was spectacular. He's a demon, but that was fantastic.
Okay.
And I was coming, and I
oh God,
I got out of the bed. It was just a little, like a little nugget, and I didn't know. I fucking air hockeyed it off the I did. I flung it because I didn't know if he had saw it or not. He came out with this like he had been to war. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on with you?" He's like, "I saw it." And I was like, "Ah!"
Did it hit the wall like
it would hit the glass window? So when I say I put all my might into that nut, and I
no, we know you don't gotta convince.
I didn't know.
Let's do that though, because I have farted during the night. Because sometimes when you be trying to,
I would have picked it up.
It like a little bird,
and I would have let it free.
Because you know why he caught
It was
you?
free already.
No, one time.
So this lady says that as she's having as she's getting role performed on her. On her. I believe her. I want to say I believe her. But I also want to put out that that ain't never happened to me. That ain't never happened to me. If I'm like, right, so we're gonna get a little bit personal, but let's say I'm like, and I feel like, yo, something, I don't feel too comfortable, like something getting ready to happen. I get up. I get up real quick. I get up. We're not going to have these embarrassing moments. No, we're not. And it's the fact that after the incident, after the little nugget flew from her ass, she brushes it off the bed onto the floor. And after she brushes the nugget of shit onto the floor, the man is looking at her brushing the nugget of shit onto the floor. And she thinks he doesn't know, but the man looks at her and says, "Yes, I saw you shit yourself and fucking brushed it onto the floor." Excuse me? Like, if I was in that situation, you could buy me for less than a penny. For less than a Jamaican penny, okay? You can literally look. I can't butter. When Mr. Me can't butter. Excuse me? The woman say she shit up herself. And it was brushing it off of me. Like, why would you brush it off? All right. So, according to the Shade Room, Donald Trump fined 10,000 for a second violation of his gag order in the New York civil fraud case. I think these people want you to shut up, Trump, and you're not shutting up. But is there anything? Do we expect anything else from Trump? Does anyone still have like any hope that this man is going to be president again? Like, I seriously don't see him being president again, but people keeps talking about him being president again. So I'm like, what am I missing out on? All right. So Kylie Jenner was recently called out by a designer bestie for allegedly jacking her designs. FYI, this isn't the Betsy Johnson. Okay, so I guess it's not. All right. So basically, the reason why I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention is because I do feel like the Kardashians are constantly getting nacked for stealing from people, from their creative catalog. And I feel like that's not a nice thing to do. So it's something that we should always shine light on and give the original creator, you know, the respect that they deserve, right? So according to um Financial Times Fashion, I gotta blow this thing up a little bit. I can't even see it. Okay. Kylie Jenner is launching her own fashion brand, Kai, the label, which draws inspiration from Jenner's personal wardrobe, which release frequent capsules through collaborations with designers, other brands, and cultural figures. The debut collection, created in collaboration with Berlin-based brand Namilia, will be available on November the 1st on kai.com, and the brand's social media platform is it will include 13 pieces, including fox leather pants, coats, tops, and base layers, priced between $48 and $198. Why do I feel like I'm reading an ad? All right, let me continue. I wanted to make Kai a platform for our customers to have the opportunity to experience fashion through new designs and brands, but at a more accessible price, Jenner's said in a statement. One of Jenner's first business ventures was a clothing line produced under license. Yeah, I feel like I'm like reading the ad. So hold on. I see the FUs. Okay, so this was an ad basically. Well, I tell you the piece looks beautiful, but the person basically reposted this ad, right? And when they reposted this ad, they posted dead. And then what they also said was, while I stare at my student debt, worked my ass off for this, like so many other working class kids who bust their ass for expertise they weren't born into to realize their ideas. So basically, um, she posts a picture of her student loans. And then she says, we emailed Kylie and her team at Products Limited, um, concept and language, and a line sheet 6 months ago. So she emailed the team concept and language, and a line sheet months ago. Interestingly, so basically it seems like I'm getting the gist. Um, she emailed the concepts to Kylie, and Kylie stole them. And she's reposting the ads because now she's still seeing that her stolen things are on Kylie. And I just feel like at this point we have to also take responsible for ourselves. I'm not victim blaming. I'm just saying you have to always do research on the person that you're looking to do business with. And if I personally hear that the Kardashians are constantly taking different ideas from various designers and stuff like that, I personally wouldn't just go all willy-nilly and send them my things like that. So I feel like don't do that, you know? Happy birthday. Oops. Happy birthday to Miss Ciara. I think she's pregnant again, isn't she? Look. Everyone is looking for that Russell CC love. Yeah. This is Ciara. And for those of you who are just listening to the podcast, I'm just showing everyone watching it on YouTube the Ciara appreciation post. So this is her looking fly as hell in the middle of the road. That's one thing. Ciara serves looks. I like the money outfit here. But yeah, again, this was just a CC. Oh yeah, see, she is pregnant. Look at her with the big old gut and the blonde wig. So happy birthday to Cece. All right. Jackie responds after fans suspect that she is pregnant, according to Hollywood Unlocked.
Now, basketball wise, a little bit of competition can be healthy. You never know who's about to show up. You never know who might show out and steal the spotlight. We play with balls on and off the court. Secrets are never a secret. And like I said, don't even call me no more. I don't care what they say. Leave me alone with all that. This shit ain't for the weak.
Got this number. I'm not sure.
So be a boss. Your game always has to be on point. Because we play to win.
All right. So basically, this is like the basketball wise um clip. Hold on, let me check something. All right, so we've been on for about 2 hours. So I'm gonna try to run through the next couple topics within like the next 10 minutes and see if we can like close out. But basically, she made this video promoting Basketball Wives. And as she made this video promoting Basketball Wives, she does look pregnant in the first clip because her tummy looks kind of round. Megan James said, I don't think Jackie is pregnant. I just think it's the fupa. So Jackie responds and said, Megan James, LOL babes, it's the fupa prosthetic and a set of twins, you know. So is she saying that she's pregnant with twins? It sounds like it, but these celebrities, they do have a way with words where they'll say something 1 minute, then they'll be like, oh, that was a joke, you didn't understand it. So we'll see what happens in the next couple months to see if Jackie is indeed pregnant. I just feel like Basketball Wives, like it used to be a hit, but sometimes when things get washed out, it'd be like, why rebrand? But then again, you know what? Maybe it's not a bad idea to rebrand because look at Bad Girls Club, right? Bad Girls Club became washed too. And look at Natalie now. All right. So um this was just something that I came across and I was like, I'd be interested in stuff. So I wanted to show it to you guys. But basically, a British TikTok star tried to smuggle drugs into the UK. So it says a British TikTok star has been jailed for more than 6 years after being caught trying to smuggle cocaine into the UK. It says Madhu Adams was stopped and searched at, I can't see where that location is, but at the international airport in Peru. And right now we're just looking at a video clip of him getting searched.
Como podemos observar, azul turquesa, indicativo positivo para
All right, about 2.9 kg of cocaine was hidden inside a suitcase.
Sáquense anillos, collares, correa.
The drugs were worth an estimated 300,000. I don't know what euros. I think it is. Is that what they use over there? I'm not sure. According to the reports.
Vamos a proceder a cortar.
All right, so I just feel like this was just a post where I wanted y'all to know what's going on in this world. Be wary. Don't be doing these things where we feel like we can get away with it, where you feel like you can smuggle drugs and get away with it. You never get away with it. Now he's sitting in jail for 6 years just for this. You know, where he could have been doing something better with his life. Now, this is a video where I was like, what the hell is going on? Why would these people steal from someone who was in a car accident?
Getting a flat, another one chasing that. Oh yeah, let me catch up. There it goes. Hold. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Brand new car. Brand new car. That car had.
All right. So, what be going on in your heads, dog? With all of this, like, just be careful. Like, imagine just getting into a car accident just to have masked men come up to you on the side of the road and literally rob you for all that you have. I feel like this is BS, and I feel like we just need to be more careful on these streets because you never know who's out there. All right. So, Erica Mina, what's that? Erica Mina. Azel E speaks on the Erica Mina monkey controversy. She says it's not cute. You're not trying to hold yourself accountable for your mistake. You're trying to deflect. Adding Erica dogged me out for similar mistake. So let's listen to exactly what Azel E had to say about Erica Mina on her monkey comment.
I'm in a situation, and you had a similar situation. We don't have to go into detail, but you had a similar situation with Erica. She called Spice a blue monkey. In the past, you called someone a monkey, but I feel as though with your situation, you were maybe a little bit more receptive to learning and correcting, and really just understanding why that may have been hurtful to to some people. So on one hand, I want to know your thoughts on how you think Erica's handling it, and then on the other hand, I want to know if you think that the network should have invited her onto. They had like a whole round table,
like a Iyanla Fix My Life, right?
That I did, because you were on Iyanla, and you were on there very vulnerable, very open, and very receptive, and just open, right? So do you feel as though they should have had her on the round table for that kind of moment, or what's your thoughts on how she's kind of handling that situation?
Once, I want to thank you, being a woman of a darker complexion than me, you being even receptive to have that conversation with me. That was like what Iyanla and Oprah did to put me on the platform. Because one, I was a Black woman that was misunderstood for being another raced woman. So my situation wasn't racism, it was colorism. And through my experience, I understood what I did.
Right.
I was more receptive because I didn't even understand my platform at that time. I thought I was lashing out at women who lashed out at me. So I was giving it back and forth. And I was like, well, bitch, woo, 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 woo. I always, and it's not to deflect. See, it's not to deflect what I'm saying, but like, if I say white bitch, Mexican bitch, woo, woo, Black bitch, it was more in that sense of me. But because I'm a lighter skinned Black woman, me offending darker skinned Black women, it was a colorism issue. And once I was made aware of my mistake, I owned it.
Right.
See, the problem is when you get made aware of your mistake and you don't own it. And what's so crazy is in them shade room comments, Erica and Sin dogged me out for that mistake I made. They were two of the main people that I seen in those comments. How stupid could you be? So years later, you make a similar mistake.
Or the exact same, because you said, monkey looking dark butts, and she said blue monkey.
Right. And into somebody's face, it wasn't even a Twitter.
You tweeted,
It wasn't Twitter fingers. And it was okay. I understand the tackiness. I understand the back and forth in that moment, but the fallout and the repercussions, I just seen the video with saying, oh, I want to be Bernice's color. Like, it's not cute.
Yeah.
To me, it's not cute because you're not trying to hold yourself accountable for your mistake. You're trying to deflect. Everything she's doing to me looks like deflection. And it's not owning, saying what I said, especially having Black kids. And that's the problem. I feel like a lot of these girls take Black and think that they Black and can say this stuff. And I just feel like That's not the case. And that's where I feel like the mistakes are getting made here. Let's be clear. So to the network, do I feel like she should have been a part of the round table? Yeah, I feel like she should have been a part of the round table, because if you want to hold her accountable, let her be aware and to be in the moment and have these people be able to speak to her face, because it's so easy to talk about somebody when they're not around. Say this to her face. Let her be aware and let her be accountable. Now, if she's not accountable in that moment, then it's a problem. Like if I would have went on and y'all was still arrogant and like, I don't care what I said and I don't care what I did, then it's like, for real, cancel me. I'm a this, I'm everything that you said. But if you can be accountable in that moment that they give you a chance to be, for the network's part, then that's on them. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know. It looks like a saving face situation on one end, but it also looks like you're not sorry.
Yeah.
You're not sorry. Because if you were sorry, you wouldn't apologize and then unapologize and then been in the pool with your non-black homegirls talking about you want to be Bernice's color.
And Bernice Burgos is who she was.
Yeah.
All right. So, easily. Well, I don't know. It was a bit refreshing watching that quick snippet of her, because we haven't been able to kind of see her on reality TV lately. The only thing we've really been able to see much of Azalee lately is, the foolishness that the husband creates in terms of the drama and their marriage and stuff like that. So we see her on the blogs. So it's a little bit refreshing seeing her, um, you know, sit down and do an interview in terms of her sentiments and how she feels about the whole Erica Mina situation. I mean, who best to give advice than someone who has walked through it, right? And I kind of agree with her in terms of saying that, hey, she should have been invited to the round table. She should have been invited to discuss the topic and allow her co-cast to call her out, and see what her response is. Because when you're oblivious to something, you're more susceptible to do it. But once you've been made aware and it's now in your forefront, it's like, oh, no, I can't do that because I've learned and I'm no longer oblivious to it. So I get that concept of what Azalee is saying. I feel like no lies told there. And I don't know what's going on with Azalee face. It actually looks normal. Like, I feel like Azalee is one of the girlies who has done some one or two things that has to her face. And this is not like to insult her or anything. Like 99.9% of the people in the industry touch their face, touch their bodies, do things, right? It's just that I'm so used to seeing Azalee with it botched that I feel like they finally got it right. It's like a Carly Red kind of moment. I feel like where the surgeons were getting it wrong while we were growing up, I feel like now they're starting to get it right a little bit, because Carly Red out here looking like a whole different person, and so is Azalee. So I want to say it's not a backhanded compliment, Azalee. It's just not seeing you like that ever before. So you're looking at beautiful. It was refreshing to see you. Now, with that being said, this is where we're going to actually close it out. I didn't really want the show to be entirely too long. I didn't want to go into that 3 hour, 4 hour mark. And that's where we're heading if I continue with all the topics that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the rest of the topics for tomorrow, and we'll sit down and we'll have a wonderful show. Now, before we do close out the show, what I do want to remind you guys of is today's quote of the day, and it is by Eleanor Roosevelt, where he says, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So my question to you is, are you believing in your dreams? Are you believing in you? Are you believing that you can and will be successful? Are you planning for those dreams? Are you doing all that you can to set up your life? Sorry, I've been burping and coughing all day. Sorry about that. But are you doing the things to set up your life so that in the next 10 to 20 years you are where you want to be? Right? These are questions that we should be asking ourselves today so that our future is better. Our future is greater, right? Anyway, For those of you who are watching the podcast, hi. And for those of you who are listening to the podcast, I just want to say, we are on social media platforms, but I kind of want to keep it to the podcast for now. Don't forget to check me out on Tickety Talk if you guys want. It is at K's Untold Stories. That is KAYS Untold UNTOLD Stories STORIES. So you guys can check me out there if you guys are interested in me on a personal level. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. I never ever want to just close out with you guys because I really do like sitting down and chit chatting with you guys about the celebrities and what's going on. But gotta log on to work. So anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Am I forgetting something? Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? I feel like that's why I'm dragging this closing out. Or you know what? You always drag this closing out. Later. Bye.